Where's the moon gone? Once upon a time, a little girl named Kenzi lived in a small, cozy village with her Nana. Every night, Kenzi loved gazing up at the moon and stars, tracing the patterns in the sky. But one night, Kenzi noticed the moon was missing. The sky felt strangely empty without its gentle glow. Worried, Kenzi ran to her Nana, who was sitting by the window. "Nana, where's the moon? It's gone!" Kenzi exclaimed. Nana smiled and pulled Kenzi onto her lap. "Oh, my dear Kenzi, the moon hasn't gone, it's just hiding. You see, the moon goes through different phases. Sometimes it's full and bright, and other times it hides in shadow. This is called the lunar cycle." "Why does the moon hide?" Kenzi wondered, peering out at the dark sky. "It's part of the moon's journey," Nana explained. "The moon orbits around Earth, and as it does, different parts are lit by the sun. That's why sometimes we see a crescent moon, a half moon, or a full moon, and sometimes we don't see it at all." Kenzi nodded, still puzzled. "But I miss the moon. It makes the sky so beautiful." Nana chuckled softly. "The moon will return, Kenzi, and until then we can enjoy the stars. Look closely. They form patterns called constellations, like Orion the Hunter and the Great Bear. Finding them is like connecting the dots in the sky." That night, Kenzi and Nana sat by the window watching the stars twinkle like fireflies. Kenzi traced the constellations with her finger and whispered their names to the moon, hoping it would hear her and come back soon. And just as Nana had said, the moon slowly returned from a sliver to a shining circle in the sky. From that day on, Kenzi learned to appreciate the beauty of the moon's cycles and the stories written in the stars. And every time the moon disappeared, she knew it was just another chapter in its celestial story, waiting to be told. The following night, Kenzi and her Nana stepped into the garden, the cool night air wrapping around them like a comforting blanket. The moon hung low in the sky, bathing the garden in a soft, silvery glow. The trees and plants seemed almost ethereal, their leaves shimmering as if dusted with magic. They wandered through the garden, watching as the moonlight danced on the dewdrops that clung to the petals and leaves. The flowers, normally vibrant in the daylight, took on a more mysterious beauty under the moon's gaze. Kenzi's Nana pointed out how the moonlight made the garden feel alive in a different way, casting shadows and highlighting details that went unnoticed in the sun's glare. They paused to admire a spider's web, strung between two branches, its delicate threads sparkling like a necklace of pearls. As they strolled, they marveled at how the moon's glow seemed to transform the garden into a dreamlike realm, where every leaf, flower, and blade of grass held its own story, whispering secrets to those willing to listen. Kenzi felt a deep connection to the world around her, a sense of wonder and belonging that only grew stronger with each passing moment. Lost in the magic of the night, they talked about how the garden changed with each season, and how every phase of the moon brought a new perspective to the familiar landscape. They laughed as they shared stories, creating memories under the watchful eye of the moon. Eventually, they'd need to go back inside, but for now, the world was theirs, and they were content to bask in the moonlit garden, letting its beauty and tranquility seep into their souls. The garden's secrets were theirs to discover, night after night, under the ever-changing light of the moon. Kenzi and her Nana wandered deeper into the garden, where tall sunflowers stretched towards the sky, their petals gently swaying in the cool night breeze. The moon's glow seemed to infuse them with a life of their own, and the garden felt alive with nocturnal whispers. Nana pointed out the delicate dance of fireflies, their tiny lights twinkling in response to the moon's command. Kenzi watched, wide-eyed, as the fireflies flickered around them, weaving through the night air like living stars. She felt a deep connection to the garden, as if it held secrets whispered only under the moon's watchful gaze. As they stood in the moonlit garden, Nana shared stories of how each plant had its own tale, its own relationship with the celestial orb above. She spoke of the moonflowers, which bloomed only at night, and how their ethereal white petals seemed to shine with a light of their own, mirroring the moon's radiance. Kenzi listened, entranced, as the magic of the night filled her imagination. Together they wandered through the garden, basking in the tranquility of the moonlit night, bound together by the shared wonder of nature's nightly performance. And in that moment, Kenzi discovered that the garden was not just a place of sunlight and blooms, but a realm where the moon cast its spell, weaving its magic into every leaf and petal. They stood gazing at the moon, Kenzi pondering how its size and position seemed to change. Nana explained, "It's a trick of perspective. When the moon is near the horizon, it appears larger because we compare it to objects on the ground. And when it's high in the sky, it seems smaller without that frame of reference." Kenzi squinted. "And why does it sometimes look closer or farther away?" Nana smiled. "That's because of its elliptical orbit. The moon's distance from Earth changes, making it seem closer at times and farther away at others. And its height in the sky depends on the Earth's tilt and where the moon is in its orbit." They admired the moonlit garden for a moment before settling in bed for the night. Sleep tight. And that, my dear friends, is a tale of discovery, appreciation, and a promise that the moon Kenzi loves so much never truly leaves.